There was a lot of uncertainty. I didn't have a lot of savings. I didn't have a job. I was renting a place. I wasn't entirely sure what's gonna happen with my life. I wasn't in a good place. It was just not a good time. One of the biggest realizations that happened for me during the time is that money is the result of how we show up to this world and how we express ourselves. The reality that you are living right now is the reality that you have created for yourself. There is no magic behind vision board. The last advice, the last step is the most important step that really makes you successful and will help you go from broke to financial freedom. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yulia and I'm a headhunter and a part-time coach. I live in Vancouver, Canada. Today I wanted to chat with you about my financial success story, about going from broke to financial freedom. This video will be divided into 3 parts. In the first part, I will talk a little bit about my personal story. In the second part, we will chat about the main mindset shifts that helped me go from broke to financial abundance. And in the last part, we will be talking about my actual steps to financial abundance. My story from broke to financial freedom starts when I decided to move to Canada. I moved to Canada right after I finished university, and at the time I didn't have anyone in Canada. I didn't have friends, I didn't have family. I just decided to pack up and move here. I was really blessed with the support of my family. I was studying and exploring different things that I would potentially want to do in the future. I was studying marketing, hospitality, and international business, and eventually I decided that hospitality is something that I'm passionate about. I love working with people, I love being around people, and I decided to go for it. I decided to build my career in hospitality. I was also inspired by a movie. It's called Red Eye. I know it's absolutely not related to being in hospitality industry, but the main character in that movie was the manager at this famous hotel chain. And that's what I wanted for myself. I wanted to work for a large hotel chain. While studying, I found an opportunity with one of the largest hotel chains of the world, and I started working there in the restaurant as a server. I was working part-time, and when I finished studying, I switched to full-time and I became a restaurant supervisor. And that was approximately 2 to 3 years time span. But at the time, I already knew that I don't want to be in the hotel industry anymore. I got a feel of what it is like to work at the front desk and to be an assistant manager and to be a manager in the hotel, and it just didn't speak to me anymore. I was at the point of my life where I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to go back to work. I didn't want to be in the hotel anymore. And then COVID started. Even though the first day of COVID was a really happy day for me because I knew I don't have to go back to the job that I don't like anymore, there was a lot of uncertainty. I didn't have a lot of savings. I also didn't want to spend my savings because those savings were for something more meaningful than just to spend this money on food and on your daily expenses. I didn't have a job. I was renting a place. I wasn't entirely sure what's gonna happen with my life. I wasn't sure in anything. I felt down. I felt like my life is over. I wasn't in a good place. I knew that hospitality industry is done for the next foreseeable future. I had no idea when I would be able to go back to hospitality, but I also didn't want to go back to hospitality. I wanted to do something else. It was just not a good time. While I was laid off, it was approximately around a year, I received my certifications in coaching, and I decided to switch my corporate career as well. So I went back to school and I studied for human resources management. It was a very high intensity condensed program because there were a lot of people who lost their jobs, and many institutions provided this opportunity for people to pretty much get the diploma faster than what it usually takes. I'm also grateful because I was sponsored by the government of Canada. I submitted for this program for people who lost their jobs and needed to find something else because hospitality was dying. At the time, there was nothing you could have found in hospitality, so I did need to switch. So I applied for this program, the government paid for my education, and that's how I got my HR diploma. All in all, it took me about 1.5 years, and then Canada started recovering a little bit after COVID. I was invited back to join hotel. And obviously, even though I didn't want it, my thoughts were like,
I don't have any other opportunities right now. I don't, maybe I should just go for it again, and maybe I should just work there until I find something better.
Long story short, I went back to the hotel. But after several months, I was let go of the hotel because of the restructuring of the company. The company suffered a lot during COVID, and they pretty much were just letting go people who were working with them for a long time and who were making a lot more money than the people who could have just potentially started working with them. So they let go all of the people who were with them for many years, and they hired new people. I ended up having a lot of education, but not having any job. And obviously I started going through other restaurants and trying to find a position of the server, and it didn't really work out at the time. And my partner helped me to get a job as a customer service agent at one of the retail companies in Vancouver. That was such a low-paying job, and it was so stressful because I was an executive resolutions team that was dealing with a very high intensity complaints from the customers, and that was my day-to-day life. Talk to people who are complaining, who are not happy, who are dissatisfied, who had problems with delivery, problems with purchasing, and things like this. It was a really, really nice environment. I loved people who were working there, but it was a really stressful job. And it also was a contract position. My contract was coming to an end. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any other options. So I started applying for hundreds of opportunities out there that has something to do with recruitment or HR. And I eventually landed with my first opportunity. And I'm gonna put it that way, I can't say that was the best opportunity ever out there. This was for the company that was directly working with the telecommunications company in British Columbia. This position was called recruitment specialist, but to be honest, it was more a call center associate. We had to call these hundreds of people per day and sign them up to work with the direct to consumer services with the telecommunications company. The salary wasn't the best at all, and the position was a struggle. I knew that it's not something that I wanted to do in my life. Working in the company, I made really, really good friends with one of my co-workers, and he was actually switching company, and he took me with him. And that became the beginning of building my corporate career as a headhunter. It's been a year and I am building my corporate career. I'm very happy with where I am right now. I have a lot of perspective for my future. I recently purchased 2 vacation homes in Mexico. We are about to purchase a home in Canada. So there was a lot of growth that happened from me being let go the second time from hotel to today. And a lot of this is because I was really, really working hard on my mindset. Specifically, I educated myself on the laws of the universe, and I always knew there are these laws of the universe. There was the law of attraction that, like attracts like, the law of the energy, whatever you put out into the world, you get back. One of the laws, though, that no one really talks about that had a direct reflection on my finances is the law of correspondence. And this law states that the outer world reflects our inner world, and our inner world is everything from our beliefs and values to our boundaries. It's how we feel, what we think about ourselves. It's our habits, it's everything that's within us, it's who we are. This whole bunch of things that's within us constructs our outer world. One of the biggest realizations that happened for me during the time is that money is the result of how we show up to this world and how we express ourselves, and the way that we show up in this world is directly reflected on the amount of money that we have in our life. And it is important to express yourself and show up as you in all of its diversity, in all of the different roles and projects and reactions and habits, and just allow yourself to have a big variety of everything that you want to be. The more diversity means the more opportunities you will have in your life. Some of the key shifts in my mindset are to study myself, to really get to know what my values are, and to get to know what my beliefs are. What is it inside me? Why have I created this life right now? Why am I living this reality? Because the reality that you are living right now is the reality that you have created for yourself. So I really wanted to study that. I really wanted to understand why I'm dealing with these specific problems. Why am I overcoming these specific challenges? Why I have created these situations for myself. Another one was to express myself and show up as me, to get to know me, to get to know my values, to get to know who I am deep inside, to get to know my interests, to get to know what I'm passionate about and start expressing it to the world. Another one is to live out of enjoyment and pleasure. We tend to think that we will enjoy our life when we achieve X, Y, or Z. In my experience, I needed to first start living out of enjoyment and pleasure. I needed to first let myself enjoy this life to start achieving X, Y, and Z. Then stop being cheap and allowing myself the best option possible. It was very, very relevant, especially when I was fixing my relationship with money, because if I knew deep inside, if I'm choosing this option just to be cheap, and I knew that I could potentially afford something that's better, but I decided to be cheap on myself and to save this money, I didn't feel right inside, because I knew deep inside that I deserve the best. And this is the mentality shift that you should totally introduce into your life, that you deserve the best. And it's not like you're buying something that is out of your budget. If it is within your budget, and if you are choosing between a cheaper and low quality thing and a more expensive, a high quality thing that is still within your budget, I would personally go for that thing, because that's what reflects your relationship with money. You are showing to the universe that you want to have this type of relationship versus to be cheap on yourself. Another big mindset shift was for me to start following my impulse. And to follow your impulse is a little bit different than follow your intuition. Even though it is important to follow your intuition, it's not always easy to tune in with your intuition when there is so much noise coming from outside world. However, following the impulse is this first step that you really need to master. The impulse is a boost of energy that you have for completion a specific task. And if you feel like at some point that you really, really want to do something, but you start thinking to yourself that, well,
I will do it later, I don't have time for this right now, or I feel scared,
you start postponing it, you are losing this energy to do this task. So when I do feel an impulse to do something, for example, if I have an impulse to create a specific type of video, or if I have an impulse to call this person, or whatever it is, I follow this impulse because I was given this energy for something, and I tend to believe that this something is important for my greater good. Then obviously it's working with the limiting beliefs. Working with your limiting beliefs is very, very important. My main limiting beliefs are I'm not enough, I'm nothing special, and I need to work hard to make good money. And then the last mindset shift that I've done is to really have a clear idea of how much money you need to have your next level life. And also to know exactly how you want your next level life to look like. You need to teach yourself to not being scared of numbers and to be completely fair with yourself, to know exactly how much money you need to sustain the life that you want to create for yourself in the future. Now, after my favorite part, and these are the steps to my financial abundance. I try to put them in a specific order that I think makes the most sense. And I wish I was able to follow the steps in this order when I was growing my finances and when I was achieving my financial freedom, because it just took me longer to get to financial freedom because it was all over the place, but I tried to combine them in a specific order to make it a little bit easy and faster. First thing first is visualization. This is something that I've done since being very, very young. I have always visualized. I don't know why. I didn't even have an idea of what visualization was, but I loved visualizing, and a lot of things that I look back in my life right now came to my life because I was visualizing those things. We need to understand our nature. Men think in numbers and words versus women think in pictures. And that's why as a woman, I accepted that it's important for me to visualize. It's just how my brain works. I needed to have a clear picture of what I wanted to have, and I needed to believe that I'm worth it. The second step that is very, very important is to set your boundaries and to clear the clutter. I cleared my place from everything that I didn't want and everything that I didn't need, whether it's relationship, it's things, it's habits, it's actions. I made a list of things that prevent me from being that person who lives that dream life that I want to create for myself. And I tried to eliminate as much stuff as possible that was preventing me from having that life. The next step is to learn about money, about the energy of money, to learn how people achieve success, to teach yourself that success is possible, to educate yourself on money, to notice how this money energy comes into your life and how it comes out of your life. Educate yourself on how to make money, how to have multiple streams of income, how to grow a corporate career, how to start your side business, how to have investments. Fill yourself up with the finance energy. Learn and take all this advice that you can get and feel what sticks with you and what doesn't. Maybe there is something out of that that will stick with you and will make you want to explore this topic a little bit better. Maybe it's, it's a type of a corporate career, maybe it's a type of a business, maybe you want to diversify your portfolio with investments, maybe you simply want to understand the essence of the energy of money and what type of relationship you should have when you have the money. I have talked about this in the past in one of my other videos, that you always want to treat money like it's your friend. Let's say that the money is your friend and this friend came over to your place. How would you treat this friend? You would not want to be stressed around this friend. You would not want to try to keep them locked in your apartment. You would want to let them go out freely and come back freely. This is what your relationship with money should look like. The next step is to have the right surrounding. This can be objects, this can be people. It is something that gives you energy other than depletes you of energy. Now, I'm very blessed. I am surrounded with successful people at work. I am in constant communication with the people who achieved a lot of success in life, who are happy with their life. But before I was in the position where I was able to be in that surrounding, in that environment, I was reading books, I was following people on social media who achieved success. And I told myself that if those people were able to do that, there is nothing that prevents me from doing the same. The next step is to really think of how you speak about money, how you speak about your finances. If you constantly complain that you do not have enough money, that you're broke, that you're poor, that you're unsuccessful, you're unlucky, that's what you are attracting into your life, because what we say we think and what we think we attract. I really had to work hard on that, and I still am working hard on it, because every once in a while I do get myself into this mindset of being unsuccessful, of not having enough, of not living an abundant life, and I get myself out of it. It's simple repetition. If you find yourself in this mentality, in this mindset, it's a simple habit of getting yourself out of it and substitute these thoughts into the positive ones that actually helps and makes a difference. Another important step to financial freedom is to work with affirmations, but not just simply repeat those affirmations, because when you are repeating something that you don't believe in, it really means nothing. You don't benefit yourself when you just simply repeating affirmations that you don't believe in. What I do is I repeat affirmations, but also I find proof in my life that these affirmations are true or can potentially be true in my future. For example, affirmations like abundance is everywhere, I live in abundance, I get enough. This is something that you can find in your real life. It doesn't have to be specifically related to money. You could still say that you live in abundance. Maybe it's relationship. Maybe you have abundance in people, in love. You have a fruitful food. You are living in abundance. You have a soft bed to sleep. You are living in abundance. You have a fresh air to breathe and a clean water to drink. It is an abundance. Even though we are trying to get into financial freedom, it is important to first feel abundant. And it doesn't matter where you feel abundant. You can feel abundant in any other sphere of your life, but if you do constantly integrate this feeling of abundance into your daily life, your sphere of finances will eventually catch up, because as one of the laws of the universe say, like attracts like. The next step is to teach yourself to be generous and to be grateful, and first and foremost to be generous and grateful towards yourself. Financially getting out of the cheapness mentality, or it can be giving yourself enough support, giving yourself enough love, giving yourself enough respect, giving yourself enough time to rest and recharge. It can be anything as long as you feel generous towards yourself. Towards others, it works the same way. You don't have to necessarily give others money. What you can do is you can spend time on others, you can give others your full attention. This is something that's way more important than giving someone money. The next step I also consider to be one of the most important steps, and it is to touch upon your intention every single day. And what helps here is your vision board. There is no magic behind vision board. The vision board is there to remind you why you're doing what you're doing. The life that is displayed on your vision board is the life that you're creating for yourself. Maybe you have this vision board in your phone, maybe you have it on the desktop, maybe you have it hanging in your bedroom. It is important to look at that vision board every day and remind yourself of your why. The next step is very closely related to your intention and to your vision board, and this is understanding your true motivation. We have two types of motivation that pretty much changes everything when it comes to achieving our goals. The first type is when you go from fear, when you're scared to be in the position of scarcity, a position of not having enough, the position of not being enough, and you're running from that situation. Your motivation and you run on low vibrations. What you want to do is, instead of coming from the fear of being in a bad situation, you want to go towards a better life. And by coming from the good place, you raise your vibration and you start achieving your goals from a high vibration state. And that makes a huge difference. So every time that I was thinking, okay, I want to make more money, I want to have properties, I want to have this and that and the other, I ask myself why. What is my motivation? Am I running from something? Am I running from fear? Or am I going towards something amazing in my life? And when I notice that I'm coming from fear of being in a bad situation, I work the situation through. I work with my fears, I examine them, I ask myself, what is it exactly that I'm scared of? So I do a lot of work with my fears before I can continue working on my goals. The last advice, the last step is the most important step. It is the step that makes all the difference. It is the step that really makes you successful and will help you go from broke to financial freedom. And this is to treat your financial growth as anything else in your life that's important for you. You want to treat your financial growth the same way as you're treating your health, as you're treating your relationship. You're committing and recommitting and recommitting, and you are doing something for it every single day. So it's the same way as you're taking your vitamins, you're taking your supplements every day to be healthy. You're exercising regularly to feel good about yourself and to make your body feel strong. The same way with finances, it's not enough to just do your budgeting once a month. It's not enough to go and apply for an opportunity that you want once a month. You need to embrace this energy and you need to immerse yourself within the finances, within the money energy as much as you can. You need to come back to this financial energy every single day. You need to do it methodically. You need to cultivate the feelings of abundance. You have to do it every day. If you want to get to financial freedom, you have to live this financial freedom. These are all the steps that really made a significant difference on my current finances, on being able to sustain the lifestyle that I love, on being able to purchase properties, on being able to keep growing in my corporate career. And I'm sure that if you implement these steps into your regular life, they will help you as well. Let me know if there are any other steps that you can think of that helped you grow financially and get to financial freedom, because me and other people as well who are watching this video would also be very curious to know what you personally have done to get to financial freedom. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.